in the political world this week started off being just a little bit spooky, as Labor MPs tried to whip the nation into a frightened frenzy, predicting the resurrection of a certain political monster.
What we now have is the return of the zombie that was Work Choices. They're pumping it alive.
Labor punched away on some rather innocuous comments by Malcolm Turnbull about individual contracts to paint him as some kind of Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
All right, have it your way. Some kind of Frankenstein.
And he's down there with the defibrillator on Work Choices. He is desperate to resurrect Work Choices.
Give my creation life!
Actually, he was spending his first anniversary as opposition leader securing a little support base.
Oh, some cake for me too, maybe.
If only his party room felt this way about him. Luckily, they didn't know that outside, Labor was continuing to spin out the horror story.
He said Work Choices was dead and buried. 10 weeks after the funeral service, he's now performing the resurrection.
I don't want to live! I do not want to live!
Didn't Malcolm Turnbull say Work Choices is dead? Well, it's alive and well.
It's alive?
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Work Choices is back. The zombie is alive and walking around.
What have I done? Oh, God in heaven! What have I done?
Well, actually, Malcolm Turnbull hadn't done anything. Work Choices was far from alive.
Work Choices is dead.
So, despite all the palaver, it was just a monstrous song and dance routine.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Oh, he sings like me. Also this week, we heard Brendan Nelson, the former opposition leader, give his final speech to the Parliament, and a really engaging speech it was too, that had us all intently hearing about his famous diamond earring. Like the time a delegation of 5 Liberal ladies of a certain age confronted him.
Appointed spokesperson leaned forward and said, Dr. Nelson will get straight to the point. You have an earring. I said, yes. She said, we believe you are a homosexual.
And just how does a local member respond to such an accusation?
So I said, look, I'm not. I can assure you that I'm not. At which point this woman leaned across the table, banged a fist down and said, yes, but can you prove it?
Leave that where it is. He got the earring at age 17 because his girlfriend liked them.
And I thought, well, if that's what it takes, I'll get an earring.
Fair enough. And then about 12 years ago, he met his second wife, Gillian.
And she said, blokes your age look stupid with earrings. And I thought, well, if that's what it takes, I'll take it out.
The day after his speech, he joined Kim Beazley as our latest exports. As the Kevinator announced Dr. Nelson would go to Europe as our ambassador to NATO, and the bomber was off to Washington as our man in the US.
I can't think of anything that I would rather do.
I didn't expect this offer to be made.
His Liberal colleagues didn't expect it either.
Disappointed that I'm not going with him.
Oh, politics. They call it show business for ugly people.
Trying mighty hard to look like Gary Cooper.
But really, they're not all like Frankenstein.
My name is Frankenstein!
Whatever.